Holmes compared it to planting. A seed placed in the ground grows through a process the gardener has no capacity to perform and no ability to observe. Digging it up to inspect progress kills it, and the digging feels responsible while doing the damage. Your treatment goes into the soil the same way. Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. Today we go into a technology that was developed in America 140 years ago, refined by a small group of teachers most people have never heard of, practiced professionally by licensed men and women who charged money for it and then almost completely forgot. It's called treatment. You may have used one without ever knowing the name. Every affirmation circulating on the internet descends from it. Every abundance meditation borrows its grammar. The entire modern manifestation world stands on a foundation this word describes, and almost nobody teaches the original discipline anymore. Here's why the difference matters. An affirmation has no ending. You repeat it, and you repeat it again, and there arrives no moment where the work concludes, which means a person can spend years in a state of permanent asking while believing they are declaring. A treatment finishes, completion is built into its architecture. That single structural feature solves the problem I spent years failing to solve on my own, and by the end of this episode, you will understand exactly how it works. We cover the origin, the 5 movements, the 4 instruments people confuse with each other, the errors that stop treatments from taking hold and step almost everybody skips. And then I read 9 new treatments aloud: money, receiving, the body, work, love, guidance, protection, hard seasons, and the self you are becoming. Stay for those, speak them with me if you want the effect. Everything I read aloud in the second half is original, written for this episode, and yours to keep. Print them, speak them, put them on a wall. Nothing here requires permission. Raymond Charles Barker gave the cleanest definition ever written, and it fits in a single sentence about what a treatment actually is. All spiritual treatment is an action of the conscious mind upon the subconscious. Now, everything follows from this. There exists no outside recipient. Nobody's being petitioned. No being in a distant location is receiving a request and weighing whether to grant it. The conscious mind is addressing the subconscious mind, and it is doing so with the authority of something already settled. A treatment is an argument. Evidence gets presented, a conclusion gets stated, and a verdict gets entered into the record. The deeper mind functions as the court and receives whatever survives the presentation, which explains the strangest feature of the whole practice. A treatment is spoken to yourself about a condition, even when the condition appears to involve somebody else entirely. A practitioner asked to help a sick person never treats the sick person. They treat their own consciousness regarding that person until every appearance of illness has been argued out of their own awareness. The healing follows from the shift in the practitioner rather than from any energy sent across a distance. Everybody finds this counterintuitive at first hearing. Examine the mechanism long enough, and it becomes the only part that makes sense. Because consciousness is the medium in which the entire operation occurs. Holmes insisted the whole thing operates impersonally, and the insistence carries enormous consequences. Electricity serves the saint and the criminal identically. Water finds its level in a righteous household exactly as it does in a wicked one. A law has no capacity to evaluate character, and it responds to conditions presented rather than the worthiness of whoever presents them. Creative law responds to conviction rather than to merit, which explains something that troubles decent people enormously, and it deserves a plain statement. Individuals of poor character frequently prosper. Individuals of excellent character frequently struggle. The pattern reflects the impersonality of law rather than the absence of justice. A scoundrel holding an unshakable conviction of his own supply gets supplied. A saint carrying a subconscious pattern of scarcity remains scarce. Neither outcome expresses divine opinion about anybody. Treatment works because it alters conviction, and conviction is the only variable the law reads. People collapse this practice into positive thinking constantly, and the two differ at the root. Positive thinking asks you to feel optimistic about a situation. Treatment asks you to state what is structurally true about reality and apply it to the situation, regardless of whether optimism happens to be available that day. A person can treat effectively while feeling terrible. Feeling follows declaration rather than preceding it, which means a bad day disqualifies nobody. Holmes was explicit on the point, and it rescues the whole practice from the tyranny of manufacturing a mood before beginning. Treatments have a long history in New Thought literature, and I've found them to be very, very effective. It's a technology that has been refined and tested, and is successful and should have spread everywhere. Instead, it contracted. Several forces worked against it. The word itself became a liability. Treatment sounds clinical, medical, adjacent to claims that attract regulatory attention, and organizations grew cautious about a term suggesting healing services. The structure demanded study, 5 movements in correct sequence, precise grammar, and a discipline of release all require instruction and practice. An affirmation requires neither. Fits on a card and travels through a culture with almost no friction. And the market rewarded simplicity. As prosperity teaching moved out of churches into publishing and then into media, whatever could be compressed survived, and whatever required a teacher fell away. Repeat this sentence, outcompetes, learn this discipline every time, regardless of which produces better results. Ernest Holmes formalized treatments into 5 movements. Learn these and you can build one for any circumstance in your life without ever needing somebody else to write it for you. In fact, if you can write your own treatment, it may be more powerful. The first movement is recognition. You begin by stating what is true about the nature of reality itself, with no reference to yourself or your problem. One life, one power, one presence, infinite, complete, everywhere present, absence of shortage, anywhere within it. Recognition establishes the ground. Every claim that follows rests on this opening assertion, and a weak opening produces a weak treatment. Movement 2 is unification. Having established the nature of the whole, you now identify yourself with that life is the life I am living. Its intelligence functions as my thinking, its substance appears as my body and my affairs. Separation between us has no existence. Unification closes the gap. Without it, a person spends the entire treatment describing a power located somewhere else, which produces admiration rather than results. The third movement is realization. Here you state the specific condition in the present tense as an accomplished fact. This movement carries the content. Whatever you are treating for gets declared here with detail, with conviction, and with grammar that admits no waiting. Future tense destroys a treatment. The instant you say it will happen, you placed it outside the present, and the subconscious files it accordingly. You continue in this movement until something shifts internally. Holmes called that shift realization, and it arrives as a quiet settling, a sense that arguing further would serve no purpose. The fourth movement is thanksgiving. You give thanks, and the thanks belongs to a thing already done rather than a thing hoped for. Gratitude functions here as evidence of acceptance. A person only thanks somebody for what has already arrived, and the deeper mind reads the gesture correctly. The fifth movement is release. You let it go completely. It is done and complete, and so it is. Release is the movement everybody skips, and skipping it undoes everything preceding it. Take an ordinary problem and watch 5 movements build a treatment around it. Suppose a person requires work. Recognition establishes the ground. There's one intelligence. It organizes everything, and it wastes nothing it has created. Unification closes the gap. That intelligence functions as my mind, and the abilities I carry came from it and belong to its design. Realization states the case. Right work comes to me. The people who require what I offer find me. My services are wanted and my price is met. Thanksgiving seals it. Thanks are given for work already assigned. Release ends it. This passes into the law. It is done. 5 movements, under a minute, and every element of a complete treatment sits inside them. The structure never changes, only the third movement varies because only the third movement carries the specific condition. Learn the 4 fixed movements and you've learned the whole instrument. Whatever arises in your life gets handled by writing a new middle and keeping the frame. Everything in the modern manifestation world gets called an affirmation, and the flattening costs people results because there are 4 different tools with 4 different mechanisms. Prayer is a request directed toward a being understood to exist outside yourself, who may grant it or decline it. Petition sits at the center. The outcome rests with the recipient. Affirmation is a statement repeated until the subconscious accepts it through sheer frequency. The mechanism is conditioning. Power comes from repetition across time, and emotional charge determines how quickly the conditioning takes. An affirmation has no natural conclusion, and that absence is its weakness. A command issued from spiritual authority, nobody asks, nobody hopes. The speaker stands in the position of the I am presence and speaks the thing into being. Decree carries enormous force and requires enormous conviction. A person who doubts their own authority produces a degree that functions as a wish wearing a costume. A structured argument delivered by the conscious mind to the subconscious, moving through recognition, unification, realization, thanksgiving, and release. Treatment is the only one of the 4 with a defined ending. That ending is the whole advantage. Prayer can be repeated forever. Affirmation invites repetition by design. Decree can be issued daily. Treatment concludes, and the concluding is the mechanism, because a mind that has released a matter stops monitoring it. And the monitoring is what kills manifestation. Each instrument suits a different condition, and choosing correctly matters more than technique. Affirmation belongs to identity work across long stretches. Changing who you understand yourself to be requires thousands of repetitions over months, and the absence of an ending becomes an advantage rather than a flaw. Decree belongs to moments requiring force. Something needs to stop or start or turn, and hesitation would ruin it. Treatment belongs to specific conditions requiring resolution. A problem exists, it has edges, and you want the matter to be settled and closed. Prayer belongs wherever a person finds comfort in a relationship with something larger, and comfort is a legitimate objective on its own terms. Most people run affirmations against problems that call for treatment, then conclude the entire field fails to work. 5 errors account for almost every treatment that produces nothing. The future tense error, any construction placing the good in a coming time, reinforces its absence in the present. So watch your grammar with more care than you watch your feeling. Then there's the petition error, a treatment that begins asking has become a prayer, which is a finite thing to be, while remaining a different thing entirely. Asking positions you below the outcome, declaring positions you inside it. Raymond Charles Barker warned against treating in terms of fixed sums, since any figure your conscious mind selects comes from your history and arrives pre-limited. Plenty carries more range than a number ever will. You complete the treatment and then you check. You check the account, the phone, the inbox, the mailbox. Every check communicates absence to the same subconscious you addressed, and the message overwrites the treatment. Checking is the opposite of releasing. A treatment states what is true. A person in difficulty frequently spends the whole time arguing against what appears to be true, which keeps the appearance at the center of attention throughout. Declaring health while mentally reviewing symptoms produces a treatment about symptoms. Declaring supply while cataloging debts produces a treatment about debts. Whatever you argue against remains the subject of the sentence. The correction is to state the positive condition and refuse the mental rebuttal entirely. Something in you will supply objection, let them pass without engagement, and continue speaking. There's an old instruction inside this tradition, and it survives because it is accurate. Treat, then move your feet. Treating reorganizes the consciousness. Consciousness produces the impulse, opportunity, and recognition. A person who treats and then sits waiting has completed half the operation and stopped. Everything in this comes down to the final movement, and that is the hardest thing in the entire practice. Release. Release means you stop working on it. The moment those words leave your mouth, the matter passes out of your jurisdiction and into a jurisdiction that has been operating since before there was a world. Your handling of it concludes. Most people find this intolerable. They treat, and within the hour they begin managing again. Turning the outcome over in the mind, rehearsing contingencies, wondering whether the treatment took, which is a question that by its existence answers itself. A matter you are still wondering about has failed to leave your hands. Holmes compared it to planting. A seed placed in the ground grows through a process the gardener has no capacity to perform and no ability to observe. Digging it up to inspect progress kills it, and the digging feels responsible while doing the damage. Your treatment goes into the soil the same way. The gardener waters, weeds, and attends to conditions. Growth happens elsewhere by a law the gardener never wrote and could never enforce. Release is the act of trusting a law you have no ability to operate manually. There exists a test for whether release occurred, and it takes 4 seconds. Bring the matter to mind, observe what happens in your chest. A settled matter produces nothing. A matter still held produces a small tightening or a flicker of urgency, an impulse to do something about it immediately. The body reports on release more honestly than the mind does. When the tightening appears, the correct response belongs in another treatment rather than action. Treat again. Continue until mention of the thing produces quiet, and quiet is your evidence that the work concluded. Holmes called that quiet realization, and he considered it the only reliable indicator that a treatment had taken hold. Everything to this point prepares you for the only skill that finally matters, which is composing a treatment for a condition nobody has written one for. 4 rules govern the writing. Rule 1. State the general before the personal. Begin with the truth about reality that holds regardless of your circumstances. One life, one substance, one intelligence. Establishing the general first gives every personal claim something to rest against. A treatment opening with your problem has begun in the wrong movement and will spend its whole length arguing uphill. Rule 2 is close the gap explicitly. Somewhere in the second movement, state your identity with the power. Just describe this step gets skipped constantly, and skipping it produces a beautiful description of a distant force. The sentence can be short, that life is my life. Its intelligence thinks as my thinking. Brevity costs nothing here. The third rule, describe the condition, avoid the mechanism. State what is true, and resist the urge to specify how it arrives. A person treating for income who names the exact client, exact contract, and exact date has narrowed an infinite operation down to the single route their conscious mind was able to imagine. That route may be the worst option available, and the treatment has now excluded every better one. Declare the condition. Leave delivery to something holding better information. The fourth rule is end it. Write the release into the text so that speaking the treatment always concludes it. It is done, it is complete, and so it is. The treatment lacking a final line invites you to invite thinking that continues, and continued thinking undoes the whole operation. One additional note. On length, long treatments carry no advantage over short ones. Holmes taught that conviction determines the effect, and a person speaking 3 sentences with total certainty accomplishes more than somebody reciting 4 pages while hoping. Now, a word on treating others. The tradition permits it, and the method surprises people. You never treat the other person. Their consciousness belongs to them and sits outside your jurisdiction entirely. Instead, you treat your own awareness regarding them. Declare the truth about their wholeness until every appearance of the problem has been argued out of your own mind, and continue until you are able to think of them without seeking the difficult. Practitioners worked this way for a century. A client described a sick relative and the practitioner went to work on themselves. Whatever you hold in consciousness about a person contributes to the field they live inside. The parent who sees a struggling child, the spouse who sees a failing partner, the friend who sees somebody sinking, each of them holds an image pressing continuously on the situation. Treating changes the image, and the change matters more than most people. Settle wherever you are. Let the breath lengthen without forcing anything. I speak 9 treatments now. Speak with them with me or receive them silently, whichever suits you. Each one moves through the 5 movements in order. For the rest of this episode, listen to these treatments. I'll repeat them several times. This treatment is accepted by my subconscious mind as I speak it. There is one life, whole and complete, moving everywhere without resistance. Shortage has no place inside it. Lack has no reality anywhere in its nature. That life is the life I'm living. Its intelligence thinks as my thinking. Its substance appears as my affairs. Separation between us has no existence, and I stand inside it as I speak. Large sums of money come to me easily and quickly from multiple and varied sources on a continued basis. In the best interest of all and with the free will of all, my channels multiply. Every avenue capable of carrying wealth toward me opens and remains open. Whatever passes through my hands leaves in service and returns increased. I keep with wisdom, giving happens with joy, investment receives my attention, and circulation continues without fear anywhere in it. For this I give thanks. I release these words into the law, which knows how to accomplish what I have no ability to figure out. It is done. A treatment for receiving. My subconscious mind accepts this treatment as I speak it. One presence gives continuously, and the giving has never once paused since the beginning of anything. Withholding forms no part of its nature. I am the place where that giving arrives. The channel running toward me was built by the same intelligence that built the channel running out, and both belong to a single circulation. I receive, gifts are welcome here, help is welcome. Compliments arrive and land without deflection. Money offered to me finds an open hand and a settled heart. Every door of arrival opens. What comes through an expected route is welcomed. What comes through a route I failed to anticipate is welcomed identically. My capacity widens wherever a narrowing existed. The passage is open now, and the volume I'm able to hold increases beyond anything I have previously allowed. Thank you for the fullness that is already here. That is released into the law. It is complete. A treatment for the body. This treatment is received by my subconscious mind as I speak it. There is one life, perfect in its functioning, expressing itself as everything without exception or interruption. That life is my life. It circulates as my blood and breathes as my breath. Repair and renewal happens by its intelligence, which exceeds anything my thinking could direct. My body functions in wholeness. Every system operates in harmony. Every cell knows its work and performs it. Strength moves through me. Energy moves through me. Rest arrives when rest is needed and restores me completely. Wherever attention is required, that intelligence attends. Wherever repair belongs, a repair occurs. The whole of me responds to the perfection that has always been at work here. I give thanks for a body that has carried me faithfully and continues carrying me in strength. That is released into the law, and so it is. A treatment for right work. My subconscious mind accepts these words completely. Infinite intelligence organizes everything, and it wastes no capacity anywhere. Every ability that exists came into being for a purpose that requires it. The abilities I carry were placed in me by the same intelligence. My gifts belong to a design larger than my understanding of it, and the design includes the place where they are needed. Right work comes to me. The exact people who require what I offer find me and recognize the value immediately. My services are wanted. My price is met without struggle. The exchange satisfies everybody it touches. Doors open toward work that uses me fully. Opportunity arrives in forms I recognize, and the recognizing happens in time to act on it. Thanksgiving fills me because the work is already assigned and already moving toward me. Released into the law, it is done. This is a treatment for love. This treatment is accepted below the very level of my conscious thought. Love is the nature of the one presence. Everything that exists is held within it. Nothing anywhere stands outside its reach. I'm an expression of that love. It moves as my capacity to care and as my capacity to be cared for. Whatever separated me from it existed only in appearance, and the appearance dissolves as I speak. Love reaches me through people. The right relationships form, the right friendships deepen. Whoever belongs in my life arrives, and whoever has completed their season departs in peace and with blessing. Old wounds around love release their hold. Where fear stood, trust stands. Where guarding stood, openness stands. And the openness is safe because it rests on something larger than any person. I give thanks for the love already present and for the love already arriving. This passes into the law, which arranges what lies beyond my reach, and so it is. A treatment for guidance. My deeper mind receives this treatment now. One mind knows everything, holds every answer, and sees the whole of a matter at once, including every part hidden from ordinary sight. That mind functions as my mind. Its knowing is available to my knowing. Nothing separates the intelligence that organizes galaxies from the intelligence available to me in this decision. I am guided. The way forward reveals itself clearly, and in time, confusion dissolves. The right answer presents itself in a form I recognize, and recognition arrives with certainty rather than argument. Wrong turns are prevented, correct turns become obvious. Whatever I require in order to choose well is supplied before the choosing is needed. For this direction, I give thanks, and the thanks rests on something already accomplished. I release this into the law. It is complete. A treatment for protection. This treatment is accepted by my subconscious as it is spoken. One presence fills all space. There exists no location where it is absent, and no condition it fails to govern. I live within that presence, and it lives as me. Its wholeness surrounds everything belonging to my life, and the surrounding requires no maintenance from me. I am safe. Those I love are safe. Our homes, our travel, our work, and our sleep rest inside a wholeness that admits no harm. Whatever comes toward my life in disorder finds no place to settle. Whatever belongs to my good moves toward me freely. Peace governs my household and governs my mind. Fear releases its grip and departs. And what remains is a quiet that requires no defending. Thanks are given for a safety already established, released into the law, and so it is. A treatment for a hard season. My subconscious mind accepts this treatment now. One life continues through every condition. Seasons change within it, and the life itself remains untouched by anything the season contains. That life carries me. It carried me before I understood anything about it, and it carries me through this stretch without requiring my understanding now. I am held. Strength arrives sufficient for today, and tomorrow will supply its own grief. Grief moves through me without breaking me. Fear passes across me without governing me. Whatever is ending is permitted to end. Whatever waits beyond it prepares itself while I rest. My part is to remain open, and I am open. Help arrives, people appear, the support I require reaches me through channels I have no need to arrange. Thanks are given for the carrying, which continues regardless of whether I feel it. It is done. It is released. It is held by something steadier than I am, and so it is. A treatment for the self I am becoming. This treatment is received completely by my deeper mind. One intelligence unfolds everything, and its unfolding moves always toward greater expression. Contraction forms no part of its direction. I am that unfolding. The person I'm becoming already exists within the same intelligence that formed the person I have been, and the distance between them is a matter of time rather than possibility. I become who I am meant to be. Old patterns dissolve without struggle. New capacity appears. My thinking expands, my courage steadies, and my sense of what belongs to me widens permanently. The version of me who lives in full prosperity, health, and full purpose reaches back and draws me forward, and I move willingly toward everything already prepared. Every limitation accepted in ignorance is withdrawn now by the same authority that accepted it. For this becoming I give thanks, because it is already underway. I release it into the law that has never yet failed. It is done, and it is complete. A treatment for someone you love. My subconscious mind accepts this treatment as I speak it. One life expresses itself as every person without exception, and its wholeness in them requires no assistance from me. I am one with that life, and so is the person I hold in my mind. The same intelligence moves in both of us, and nothing divides what it has joined. I release my image of them as struggling. In its place, they stand whole, capable, provided for, and guided. Their good moves toward them by a route neither of us needs to design. Whatever fear I have carried on their behalf dissolves now. My worry served nothing and pressed on them invisibly, and I withdraw it completely. They are held by something steadier than my concern and wiser than my advice. For their wholeness I give thanks, and the thanks rests on what is already true. This is released into the law. It is done. Stay quiet for a moment longer, which is good to do after a treatment. Because something has been placed, leave it undisturbed. Sit with the feeling of it. Now, a few instructions. Speak them aloud. Stop when it manifests. The treatment continues daily until the condition shifts. Once the shift arrives, the work is done. And then release and move your feet. Speak the words, close the matter, and go about your day, alert to the impulse. The treatment reorganizes consciousness. Consciousness produces the opening. Your job is to walk through it when it appears. Treatment is a technology for practicing the trust in small increments until it becomes the way you live. Speaking the truth is simple. Thanking power is simple. Letting go of a matter that frightens you and then leaving it alone requires a kind of trust most of us spend our lives attempting to build. Speak the truth about the thing until you believe it. Thank the power that made it so, and then let it go. Begin tonight with whichever of the treatments that you want or all of them. Speak them aloud, speak them slowly, continue until something in you goes quiet. And when the quiet arrives, stop and go to bed. Repeat it tomorrow and the day after, and continue until the circumstance moves. Once movement appears, close the matter and select another. That's the entire discipline. 140 years have been refined into it. It has worked. You can question why it works, but it works. And now you have 10 new treatments that you can apply to your life at any time. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. And welcome to The Reality Revolution. Hey, welcome to The Reality Revolution. I'm Brian Scott. Over the last year, I've had the honor of hosting some amazing live in-person events, something I never thought that I would do. And I have grown and changed so much in these experiences. The opportunity to meet so many of you, to shake your hand, to hug you, to hear your stories, to watch the way that you grow, to see your changes, to get to know you. So many of you have followed my channel. It's been such an exciting experience. So when we were thinking about our next event, we decided we wanted to do something a little different. So many of you have found me through my teachings on money, on large sums of money, on the affirmations that I use. And so we brainstormed and came together with an amazing event. Over 3 days, we've planned out some of the most incredible meditative techniques, exercises, and teachings that I have ever done. 9 immersive meditations, all designed to shift you into the reality where large sums of money come to you easily and quickly. There is nothing I want more than for you to experience absolute prosperity. I want you to live a life where you are free to do what you want when you want. I want you to be able to choose when you wake up, when you go to sleep. I want you to lead a business that empowers you, that fulfills you. I want you to live a life where you choose where you live. You live in your dream home. You travel the world. I want all of this for you, and it's available to you. I believe when we come together at these events, magic happens. And so I want to have the opportunity to become a catalyst for you, to join me for 3 days so that we can manifest the most incredible life for you, one that makes you incredibly prosperous, where you tune into infinite streams of money. You walk through storms of money all around you. You experience it in every way, shape, and form. Large sums of money are coming to you. Join me in Austin on September 18th through the 20th at the Hyatt Regency. You can find the link in the description at www.brianscottlive.com/Austin-2026.